Hello, good people of the internet. My name is Rick for those who don't know me. Welcome to today's video, where we'll be diving into the world of dark psychology. Specifically, 10 powerful tricks used to manipulate and influence others. These techniques, while effective, can be dangerous if misused, causing emotional and psychological harm to those around you. It's important to remember that understanding these tricks should be for awareness and self-defense, not for manipulation or harm. Use this knowledge responsibly, and always maintain healthy, respectful relationships. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, so you never miss insightful content like this. Let's get started. Trick number 1. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is a manipulative tactic that leads individuals to doubt their own perceptions, memories, and even their sanity. Originating from the 1938 play Gaslight, where a husband manipulates his wife into believing she is losing her mind, the term has evolved to describe a range of psychological manipulations in personal relationships. For example, a partner might insist that an event never occurred or downplay an emotional response to make the other person feel irrational. This can occur subtly over time, where repeated instances of denial or distortion cause the victim to question their memories, feelings, and reality. In everyday scenarios, gaslighting can manifest in various forms. For instance, imagine a situation where one partner frequently forgets important dates or events, then accuses the other of being overly sensitive or remembering things incorrectly when confronted. This tactic not only invalidates the partner's feelings but also reinforces the gaslighter's control over the relationship, making it difficult for the victim to trust their memory. As the manipulation continues, the victim may start to internalize the gaslighter's version of reality, which can lead to feelings of confusion, isolation, and self-doubt. The effects of gaslighting can be profound, often resulting in long-term emotional damage and a fractured sense of self. Victims may find themselves increasingly reliant on the gaslighter for validation, fearing their judgment and experiences. For instance, someone who has been gaslit might struggle to make decisions independently or constantly seek reassurance from others about their reality. Recognizing the signs of gaslighting is crucial for anyone in a relationship, as it allows individuals to reclaim their sense of self and protect their mental well-being from manipulative influences. Awareness of this tactic can empower individuals to set boundaries and seek help if they find themselves in a damaging dynamic. Trick number 2. Love bombing. Love bombing is a manipulative tactic often used in relationships where one person overwhelms another with excessive affection, attention, and praise to gain emotional control. Initially, the recipient of love bombing may feel adored and cherished, experiencing a whirlwind of romantic gestures, compliments, and constant communication. This intense attention creates a false sense of intimacy, leading the recipient to believe that they have found their perfect partner. However, the underlying intent is to create dependency, making the individual more susceptible to manipulation. Over time, this dynamic can shift dramatically, revealing the darker side of love bombing. For example, a love bomber may shower their partner with gifts, text them incessantly, and profess undying love early in the relationship. This flattery and affection can be intoxicating, drawing the recipient in and making them feel special. However, as the relationship progresses, the love bomber may begin to withdraw their affection, creating emotional turmoil. The victim may then find themselves striving to regain the initial feelings of adoration, leading them to alter their behavior to please their partner. This cycle of excessive affection followed by withdrawal creates an emotional roller coaster, fostering insecurity and dependence on the love bomber for validation. Ultimately, love bombing can have profound psychological effects, leading to confusion and emotional distress. Individuals subjected to this tactic may struggle to trust their own feelings and perceptions, questioning whether the love they experienced was genuine or merely a manipulation. Recognizing the signs of love bombing is crucial for anyone who finds themselves in a relationship characterized by such extremes. Awareness of this tactic empowers individuals to set boundaries and seek healthier, more balanced relationships based on mutual respect and genuine connection. Trick number 3. Negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement is a psychological concept often misinterpreted as punishment. However, it actually involves the removal of an unfavorable condition to encourage desired behavior. In the context of manipulation, it refers to withdrawing something positive, such as affection, praise, or rewards, when a person does not comply with specific demands. This technique creates a cycle of dependence where the individual feels compelled to seek approval to avoid losing that positive reinforcement. The emotional toll this can take on someone can lead to feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and a constant need for validation. For example, in a romantic relationship, one partner may express love and affection when the other complies with their requests or desires, but they may withhold that affection when the partner disagrees or acts independently. This withdrawal can manifest as the silent treatment or emotional distancing, causing the other partner to feel anxious and desperate for reconciliation. Over time, the partner may begin to modify their behavior to avoid conflict and regain the affection they crave, reinforcing the manipulative dynamic. Another example can be seen in workplace settings where a manager might praise an employee for their hard work but suddenly becomes critical or distant when that employee fails to meet expectations. This creates a stressful environment where the employee feels pressured to conform to the manager's whims to receive validation. Ultimately, negative reinforcement fosters a toxic dependency, where the individual feels trapped in a cycle of seeking approval. This manipulation tactic can erode self-esteem and autonomy, leading to unhealthy relationships and dynamics. Recognizing negative reinforcement is crucial for breaking free from such patterns and fostering healthier interactions based on mutual respect and understanding, rather than manipulation and control. By understanding how this tactic operates, individuals can protect themselves from its damaging effects and promote more balanced and equitable relationships. Trick number 4. Mirroring. Mirroring is a psychological technique that involves subtly imitating the behaviors, gestures, and speech patterns of another person. This tactic is grounded in the concept of social resonance, where individuals instinctively feel more comfortable and connected with those who exhibit similar behaviors. When we mirror someone, we create an unconscious bond that fosters trust and rapport. For instance, if one person leans forward while speaking, mirroring them by leaning forward as well can signal engagement and attentiveness, making them feel more valued in the conversation. Similarly, using similar phrases or a similar tone can reinforce the feeling of mutual understanding. The effectiveness of mirroring lies in its subtlety. It often goes unnoticed by the individual being mirrored. This technique works best in social interactions, such as during interviews, negotiations, or casual conversations. For example, a job candidate might subtly mimic the interviewer's body language, such as their posture and gestures, which can create a sense of connection and likability. In romantic settings, individuals might unconsciously mirror each other's movements, laughter, or expressions, enhancing attraction and intimacy. The key to successful mirroring is to be genuine and not overdo it, as excessive mimicry can come off as insincere or even mocking. However, it's crucial to use mirroring ethically. While it can enhance relationships and facilitate communication, manipulating this technique for deceptive purposes can lead to distrust and resentment if discovered. For example, if someone uses mirroring to gain trust solely for personal gain, like in a sales scenario, it can backfire once the other person realizes they've been manipulated. Thus, while mirroring can be a powerful tool in building rapport and understanding, it should be applied with integrity to foster authentic connections rather than exploitative manipulation. Trick number 5. Triangulation. Triangulation is a psychological manipulation tactic that involves introducing a third party into a relationship or situation to create tension, jealousy, or confusion. This technique is often used in personal relationships, workplace dynamics, or even within families to manipulate emotions and control outcomes. The manipulator seeks to establish an imbalance of power, making themselves the central figure through which interactions occur. By positioning themselves as a mediator or a source of information, they can influence how others perceive one another, often leading to conflicts and misunderstandings. For example, in a romantic relationship, one partner might share private grievances about the other with a friend, thus involving that friend in their issues. This friend may then express sympathy or judgment, which can heighten the tension between the couple. The partner who initiated the triangulation might gain a sense of control, as the friend's opinions can sway the other partner's feelings or actions. This not only creates division between the couple, but also reinforces the manipulator's position as a confidant and source of validation. In this way, the manipulator uses the third party to amplify their grievances, often making the other partner feel isolated or pressured. In professional settings, triangulation can manifest through gossip or office politics. For instance, an employee might speak negatively about a colleague to a supervisor, creating doubt about that colleague's capabilities. This introduces a dynamic where the supervisor feels conflicted, potentially leading them to question the colleague's performance without having all the facts. This tactic can undermine workplace relationships and foster a toxic environment. Ultimately, triangulation serves as a means for individuals to exert influence over others, shaping perceptions and outcomes to their advantage while fostering discord and distrust among those involved. Trick number 6. Guilt tripping. Guilt tripping is a psychological manipulation technique that involves inducing feelings of guilt in another person to control their behavior or decisions. The manipulator subtly highlights the perceived shortcomings or mistakes of the target, often exaggerating the consequences of their actions or inactions. This tactic preys on the natural human tendency to want to please others and avoid conflict. By making someone feel guilty, the manipulator creates a sense of obligation, compelling the target to conform to their wishes, even if it goes against their own desires or needs. For example, consider a scenario where a parent constantly reminds their adult child of the sacrifices they made while raising them. The parent might say things like, "After all I've done for you, you can't even call me once a week?" This statement puts the child in a position where they feel guilty for not meeting the parent's expectations, prompting them to increase communication out of obligation rather than genuine desire. Another common example occurs in friendships where one person might say, "I can't believe you chose to go out with your friends instead of spending time with me. It's like our friendship doesn't matter to you." Such statements can create a sense of guilt that pressures the friend to prioritize the manipulator's needs over their own social life. The effects of guilt tripping can be profound and damaging. It can lead to resentment, anxiety, and a loss of autonomy in relationships. The target may feel trapped, constantly trying to appease the manipulator to avoid guilt, ultimately diminishing their self-worth and agency. Recognizing guilt tripping is crucial for maintaining healthy boundaries and fostering honest communication in relationships. By being aware of this tactic, individuals can defend against emotional manipulation and ensure their decisions are made freely, without undue pressure. Trick number 7. Silent treatment. The silent treatment is a manipulative tactic often used to exert control over someone by deliberately ignoring or withdrawing communication. This behavior creates a sense of emotional distress for the recipient, as they may feel abandoned, confused, or rejected. The silent treatment can manifest in various situations, such as during arguments or when one person feels slighted by the other. The individual employing this tactic may believe that by withholding communication, they can force the other person to conform to their desires or acknowledge their wrongdoing. This creates an unhealthy dynamic in relationships, where one party wields power through emotional withdrawal. The mechanics of the silent treatment often exploit the natural human desire for connection and affirmation. When someone is subjected to this form of manipulation, they may begin to second-guess their actions or feel an overwhelming need to reconcile. For instance, a partner might stop responding to texts or avoid eye contact during a disagreement, leaving the other person anxious and desperate for a resolution. This can lead to the recipient apologizing or making concessions to restore communication, effectively giving the manipulator the upper hand. Additionally, the silent treatment can sow seeds of insecurity, making the targeted individual question their worth and the stability of the relationship. While the silent treatment may provide temporary satisfaction to the one wielding it, it ultimately erodes trust and fosters resentment in relationships. Over time, this behavior can lead to emotional detachment and an inability to engage in healthy communication. In a workplace setting, a manager might use the silent treatment to discipline an employee, creating a toxic environment where fear prevails over collaboration. Recognizing and addressing the silent treatment is crucial for maintaining healthy relationships. Open dialogue and conflict resolution strategies can help counteract this form of manipulation and create a more supportive atmosphere where individuals feel valued and heard. Trick number 8. Framing. Framing is a psychological tactic that involves presenting information in a way that influences how it is perceived, often leading to altered conclusions or emotional responses. By selectively highlighting certain aspects of an issue while downplaying others, a manipulator can shape someone's understanding to serve their agenda. This technique operates on the premise that the way information is presented can significantly affect perceptions, choices, and reactions. For example, in advertising, a company may frame a product as 90% fat-free, rather than stating it contains 10% fat. This positive framing can create a more favorable perception of the product, leading consumers to believe it is healthier than it actually is. In interpersonal relationships, framing can be used to sway opinions or decisions. For instance, if someone is trying to persuade a friend to lend them money, they might frame the request by emphasizing how essential the money is for a significant opportunity, such as a business venture. By focusing on the potential benefits and portraying the situation as a life-changing opportunity, they manipulate the friend's emotions and decision-making process, making it more likely that they will agree to the request. This tactic exploits the friend's desire to support and encourage success, making them more inclined to overlook the risks involved. Additionally, framing can be seen in political discourse, where politicians and advocates often present issues in a way that aligns with their ideologies. For example, a policy might be framed as a job creator to garner public support, while critics might frame the same policy as a government overreach to highlight potential drawbacks. This duality in framing can create polarized opinions, with individuals gravitating toward the narrative that resonates with their beliefs. Understanding framing is crucial, as it underscores the importance of critically evaluating the information we receive and recognizing how presentation can significantly impact our decisions and beliefs. Trick number 9. Fearmongering. Fearmongering is a psychological tactic that involves instilling fear, anxiety, or paranoia in individuals to manipulate their thoughts and actions. This technique operates on the principle that people are more likely to comply with demands or take certain actions when they perceive a threat. By exaggerating dangers or creating a sense of impending doom, the manipulator effectively controls the emotional state of the target, leading them to make decisions they might not otherwise consider. For example, a person might use fearmongering in a workplace by spreading rumors about potential layoffs, causing colleagues to work longer hours or engage in unhealthy competition to secure their jobs. In personal relationships, fearmongering can manifest as emotional manipulation, where one partner plays on the other's insecurities or fears to gain control. A classic example is when a partner constantly reminds the other of past betrayals or failures, creating a sense of paranoia about the relationship's stability. This can lead the victim to act submissively, altering their behavior to avoid conflict or perceived threats, which further entrenches the manipulator's power. By exploiting vulnerabilities, the fearmongerer can make the other person feel as though they have no choice but to comply with demands, whether it's agreeing to unfair terms or isolating themselves from friends and family. Fearmongering is often employed in broader contexts, such as politics and marketing, where leaders or brands amplify fears to influence public opinion or drive sales. For instance, political campaigns may emphasize threats to national security or social stability to rally support for certain policies or candidates. Similarly, advertisements for security systems might evoke fear of home invasions to encourage consumers to purchase protection measures. In both cases, the underlying strategy is the same. By heightening fear, the manipulator effectively shifts behavior and decision-making, leveraging anxiety as a tool for control. Trick number 10. Reverse psychology. Reverse psychology is a fascinating psychological tactic that involves encouraging someone to act contrary to what you actually desire, with the expectation that they will do the opposite. This technique is rooted in the principle of reactance, which suggests that when people perceive their freedom to choose is threatened, they are more likely to assert their autonomy by doing the opposite of what is being suggested. It's a subtle form of manipulation that plays on the natural inclination to resist control or coercion, effectively leading the target to comply with the desired outcome without realizing they are being influenced. One common example of reverse psychology can be observed in parenting. Imagine a parent who wants their child to clean their room. Instead of directly asking them to do so, the parent might say, "I guess it's okay if you want to live in a messy room. It's your space." This statement might provoke the child's sense of independence and motivation to prove the parent wrong, leading them to clean the room voluntarily. The tactic works because it taps into the child's desire to assert their autonomy, making them feel empowered while simultaneously guiding them towards the desired behavior. Reverse psychology can also be effective in relationships, particularly when trying to encourage a partner to express their feelings. For instance, someone might say to their partner, "I understand if you don't want to share your thoughts with me. I know it's tough to open up." This approach can elicit a defensive response from the partner, prompting them to prove they are willing to communicate and share their emotions. Here, the use of reverse psychology encourages the partner to engage in a conversation they might have otherwise avoided, leading to deeper emotional connection and understanding. However, while reverse psychology can be a clever tactic, it should be used sparingly and with caution. Overusing this technique can lead to mistrust and resentment, as individuals may feel manipulated or patronized. The effectiveness of reverse psychology relies on the delicate balance of perception and intention. It is crucial to consider the emotional context and relationship dynamics before employing such tactics. When used responsibly, reverse psychology can serve as an intriguing tool for influence, allowing for the facilitation of desired behaviors in a way that feels organic and voluntary. And that is a wrap, folks. As we've explored today, dark psychology can be a powerful tool when it comes to influencing others, but with great power comes great responsibility. These tricks should never be overused or applied with harmful intentions, as they can seriously damage trust and relationships. The key takeaway is to be aware of these tactics so you can protect yourself from manipulation rather than using them to control others. If you found this video insightful, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.